Welcome to Faith-Led Healing with Tammy Trayer, Integrative Health Practitioner and Certified Breathworker. Tammy's passion is to help people take their life and health into their own hands so they can live their best life ever. Imagine having the energy to fulfill your dreams and create the life you desire. Rebalance your body by removing the stresses and toxicity and start healing. Listen as Tammy guides you along the healthy path with the Lord leading the way.
Hey my friends, welcome to Faith-Led Healing Podcast. I am your host Tammy Trayer, and today is episode number 41, and we are going to talk about faith, not fear, and how gratitude plays a role in that. I feel this is a really important subject. Fear is a debilitating emotion, and it plays its role. You know, there are things and situations that we do need to be fearful of, but many people are living out of a space of absolute fear right now. You know, we have the potential for war in our country. We have the impending election coming. We have inflation. We have a lot of chaos, a lot of dysfunction, and a lot of people focus solely on the news and the negative media and the negative social media, and they're just constantly being bombarded by negativity, which leads to fear, and fear just continues to grow, as does negativity. So you hear me talking about that a lot, and the importance of being positive and flipping negativity around. Fear can be flipped by adding faith. There's a lot of references in the Bible where God flips fear for us. An example is Elijah, who was in the wilderness without any food, and God provided a raven to bring him food. Having complete and total trust in God and wielding our faith enables us to live out of a place of faith rather than fear. And we need to really, really hone in on that. And again, you know, last week you heard me talking about the importance of surrounding ourselves with the right people, being in places where the positivity and the right people can influence us in such a way that it removes us from a place of fear. And, you know, that is extremely important. If you are spending your time with pessimistic people who are constantly in the news, sharing all that stuff with you, and you never have the opportunity to pull out of that place, you're obviously going to stay in that place. And it's important for us to keep, as I keep saying, honing into God and asking God to fill us with the right things. I'm going to share some verses with you today. You've heard me mention James 1:2-4 in regard to how that really nurtured me in my healing journey. How we can find pure joy in perseverance and in rough circumstances. I'm going to read to you James 1:5-6 today, and that is, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives you all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him. But let him ask in faith, with no doubting, for he who doubts is like a wave of the sea driven and tossed by the wind. We need to ask God, but knowing wholeheartedly and planting our feet in faith that he will answer our prayers. And, you know, many of you have gone through life where you've asked for things and God hasn't answered. But I can guarantee you that he did answer. He probably just didn't answer exactly how you asked. He provided something better. And that is the important thing that you need to really hone in on. He does hear our prayers. He does answer our prayers, but he doesn't always answer them exactly the way we desire them to be answered, because he has better things in store for us. He has a different plan and a different purpose. but I guarantee you he's providing good things for you. And we need to ask him and plant our feet in faith and be unwavering. You've heard me talk about that before. So how do you get out of this place of fear? And first of all, analyze things. I'm an analyzer. It's really important for us to be able to self-analyze and internally view where we are mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And, where are you at right now? Are you really honing in to all the devastation? Many of you have just maybe have gone through these storms in the world here. The East Coast was really getting pummeled by the hurricanes. We do go through storms, physical storms around us, as well as emotional and mental and varying storms in life. We can let them define us, or we can choose to see what's on the other side and focus on what's on the other side. My heart and my prayers go out to all of those affected by the storms. There are a lot of cities that are just total devastation. There are many people that are still without power a week later, and it could be weeks yet till power is restored. So there are times in our lives where fear can consume us. I know I'm unique. I know I live out of a very different space than many people, but I want to encourage you to join me. We've lived through wildfire threats to the degree that we had our vehicle packed and loaded, our 24-foot gooseneck trailer packed and loaded, heading out the driveway, ready to go in the event that we had to be ahead of a fire. I know what it's like to live in those places. I've also had many wild storms in my life. I'm not trying to downgrade anybody's storm in any way. They invoke emotion, they invoke just a place of being deeply distraught. I've progressed to a place in my life where I am able to stay above the storm or ahead of the storm. I'm going to say above the storm because I can see the storm around me. I can feel the storm. I'm experiencing the storm wholeheartedly, but my eyes are what's ahead. Knowing that this is just a season, knowing that this is just temporary, knowing that the storm will pass. And I find goodness in that storm. For those of you that have just experienced the hurricanes and you are walking out of a place of devastation, the goodness I would see there is that I'm still alive. My material things may have all washed away, but I'm still alive. God has a purpose for me. Look up to Papa. Thank you for saving me. You obviously have something more for me to do here, Papa. Guide me. Show me what I need to see in this storm. Lead me. Build my faith above my fears, Papa. We can ask for these things, and I encourage you to do so. There are people on this planet that live solely out of a place of fear, and that's all they know. That's the place they've lived out of, because maybe that's how their family rolls. I'm going to speak into that upcoming here in the future weeks. If that's you, please stay with me because I have a message for you. We can build our faith muscles, and the way we build our faith muscles is when we are in this place of fear, that we keep trying to switch it, that we keep trying to find the gratitude in our lives, the goodness, the things we're thankful for, the blessings. Those are the things that can help us shift from a place of fear to faith. Keep honing in on the good. Even though you're walking out something bad, keep your eyes on the good. Keep desiring for your faith to be bigger than your fears. It's very possible. It's very, very possible. Although it's hard for our minds to wrap around something like that. But I've experienced enough things in my life. And I've seen the goodness of God's hand in them all. I trust Him with my life. You know, I have a testimony, and I hope to be sharing that here soon. My entire testimony. God has spared me. God saved me from extreme toxicity. He saved my life. Once your life has been saved from something like that, really changes your perspective. However, my perspective was already there. My perspective was already, as a child, as I've shared before, my mother coined the phrase that I'm living life through pink shady glasses, and she said that very snarkily. She said that in a mean way, in that I viewed life poorly through pink shady glasses. But it served me because I do see good in every circumstance, regardless what it looks like. And I can honestly tell you that the more I've been in that place and the more that I've lived out those circumstances, the deeper and the deeper and the deeper my faith has gotten. I don't have fear anymore. I know I've shared that before, and many of you may shake your head and go, yeah, right, you got to be afraid of something. I'm really not. I'm really not. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm not afraid of anything, because I know that regardless what I have to walk out, God is right there with me, leading the way. And, it takes work to get to this place. I've shared before too that I used to fear everything: finances, my children's well-being, everything. I used to worry about everything. Worried about what people thought, worried about how circumstances were going to all play out when they didn't even play out. I worried days about how things would play out, and then nothing ever happened. I wasted 3 days of my life. I can't tell you how often it happened. And that is such a waste of time. And that was also a big concern of mine, was just all the time that I wasted. And I don't want to waste any more time, again, because I saw, that my time was close. I don't want to waste anything. And I don't want to miss out on anything. And last week we talked about being present. I don't want to miss out on those opportunities. I don't want to miss out on being present for those in my life. I don't want to miss out because I'm in a place of fear and debilitated and can't function because I'm fearful of something that may never happen. And with our world being the way it is today, it's so out of our control. I can't control any of that. So I refuse to waste any of my time on it. While the world is in this place, I can still choose to live a good life. You see what's behind me. You see how I spend my time. I could be inside in 4 walls recording this, but you see me trying to find and being present in really beautiful locations. I go out of my way for that, not necessarily for you. It's for me. And I don't mean that selfishly, but this nurtures my soul. This is how I live out of this space. My dogs are right here with me. As I was recording, I saw a butterfly flitting around behind me back there. The water is pristine. It's welcoming. The more we spend our time in places that nurture us, the more we are able to live out of this place, the more we learn to roll with circumstances. You know, I encourage you that as you are living life and things go upside down, to analyze it and see, can I control any of this? Can I change any of this? Is there anything I can do to make it different? If there is, then, by all means, try and make it different. We have that ability. But if you can't control it and you can't change it and you can't do anything different, I want you to find a way to find joy and happiness or peace in that time. And, if you can't change those circumstances, then go find something else to do. Redirect your mind, redirect your thoughts. Thoughts play a big role in this too. Our stinking thinking leads to being stuck in these places of desperation and fear and worry and anxiety and depression. These all stem from fear. These all stem from being stuck in the wrong thoughts and not living out of a place of faith and gratitude. So, I'm challenging you to make efforts to make change in this area. And again, I invite you to join me the rest of this week as we discuss faith over fear and honing in on our gratitude. If you don't journal right now, I want to encourage you to journal. You can use a notebook, but I do want to invite you to take a look at my Relentlessly Faithful Gratitude and Prayer Journal. It's designed in a way that you can record all your favorite Bible verses in the front, and at the bottom of every journaling page, there is a Bible verse on one page and a quote on the other. Even though I authored the book, I use it every day, and a lot of thought went into it, into the verses, into the quotes. And I find that I'm blessing myself with my own book from day to day as I'm writing in it and gleaning from that nourishment. You can also have a to-do list at the back so you can brain dump every day before you write in your journal. And I encourage you to write your prayers and your gratitude in there every day. And you can find my books by going to faithledhealing.com/Tammy Trayer. And you can find links to that on the website at faithledhealing.com. If you've got negative things to write, I encourage you to expressive write. Here is a perfect example of a time that you should be expressive writing. If you've got negative stuff floating through your head, if you've got a lot of fears and worries, get out a piece of paper and just dump all that garbage on a piece of paper and then tear it up and throw it away, burn it, whatever you want to do with it. I do encourage you to tear it up into tiny pieces. This isn't meant for you to reread it. This isn't meant for somebody else's eyes. This is a way for you to just let go of all that garbage that's stuck in here and then stuck in here. Let it go. We need to let go of this stuff, not hold on to it, not hang on to our fears and try to have faith. We need to just let it go. So let that junk go. Write in your journal. Be grateful. Write your prayers out to Papa. Speak your prayers out to Papa. But work on getting out of that place of fear and living in a place of faith and gratitude. And like I said, get in the community. Lots going on there and lots of nourishment in addition to what I've just shared today. So I look forward to seeing you next week as we continue talking about all these things. And I hope to get to know you in my community. It's a real blessing to me to get to know you. You hear me every week. You know my story. I don't know yours, and I would love to. So have an awesome, blessed day. God bless.
Thank you for joining us on Faith-Led Healing, where every day is one step closer to your best life ever. We hope you enjoyed the show and encourage you to join us at faithledhealing.com. Connect with us on your favorite podcast app and be sure to leave us a review. Remember, your best life is just down the path. The Faith-Led Healing